Pyro explodes across the stage as the camera pans through the roaring crowd, signs waving and fans on their feet as the lights shine down the packed arena. Welcome to Renegade Wrestling's Riot. We are just days away from BreakOut, and tensions are at an all-time high. Last week, we witnessed the shocking return of the Big Red Machine Kane as he went after Abyss, sending a message to Paul Bearer's monstrous creation. Tonight, Kane officially steps back into the ring against none other than the number one contender to the Renegade World Championship, Raven. That's right, Owen Hart got to pick Raven's opponent this week, and he made sure Raven's in for a world of pain. That's not all, folks. Tonight, Big Time gets their rematch for the Undisputed Renegade Tag Team Championships when they take on the Outsiders. And speaking of the club, the war between the club and their enemies rage on in tonight's massive main event. National champion Booker T teams up with his old rival turned ally, Eddie Guerrero, to take on two of the most dangerous men in this business, Shawn Michaels and Triple H. But we're kicking things off in a big way. Last week, Raven put Owen through hell when he chose Abyss as his opponent. Now it's Raven's turn to face the fire, because the Big Red Machine is back and he's out for destruction. Let's get this show started. Raven slowly makes his way down the ramp, his usual apathetic expression never changing. He slides in the ring, leaning against the corner as he waits for his opponent. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from the Black Hole of Calcutta, weighing in at 240 pounds, he is the master of misery, the keeper of pain, Raven. Last week, Raven tried to soften Owen Hart by throwing him to the wolves. Well, one specific wolf, the monster Abyss. Tonight, the tables have turned, and Raven's got a date with a returning Big Red Machine. The lights drop to deep red as fire erupts from the stage. The arena shakes with excitement as Kane steps out, his cold, menacing gaze locked onto Raven. He marches down the ramp, climbing onto the apron before stepping over the ropes. And his opponent, from parts unknown, weighing at 323 pounds, he is the Big Red Machine, Kane! And here we go. Kane is back, and you gotta wonder if Raven is regretting Owen's choice right about now. The referee signals for the bell and the match begins. Kane immediately dominates, hammering Raven with thunderous strikes, whipping him hard into the corner and crushing him with a running clothesline. Raven stumbles forward, and Kane lifts him up with ease, planting him with that sidewalk slam. Raven rolls to the outside, trying to regroup, but Kane follows, stalking his prey. Just as Kane grabs Raven by the throat, the lights suddenly flicker before plunging into darkness. Wait a minute! What the hell is going on? A moment of eerie silence before the lights return, revealing Abyss standing at ringside, steel chain wrapped around his hand. He breathes heavily and erratic. Paul Bearer appears behind him, waving his arms in twisted glee. Oh my god, it's Abyss, and he's here for Kane! Abyss storms forward, driving his chain-wrapped fist into Kane's midsection, before launching him into the barricade. Raven, seizing the opportunity, joins in, stomping away at the fallen Big Red Machine. The 2-on-1 assault continues until the crowd suddenly erupts. Owen Hart sprints down the ramp. The Renegade World Champion charges into the chaos, throwing wild right hands at Raven before turning his attention to Abyss. Owen ducks a wild swing from Abyss and nails a beautiful enziguri that sends the monster staggering. He checks on Kane as Paul Bearer suddenly calls back his monster. Abyss, that is enough! Come to me, my son! Abyss, breathing heavily, reluctantly steps back, his eyes locked on Kane like a predator, still thirsting for blood. Raven, scowling, regroups with Bearer and Abyss on the ramp. Owen and Kane stand tall in the ring, daring them to return. The crowd pops as the Renegade Commissioner steps on the stage, mic in hand, shaking his head with a wiry grin. You know what? I've seen enough of this for one night. It's clear you four want to rip each other apart, so let's not wait until BreakOut. How about later tonight we make this official? Owen Hart and Kane versus Raven and Abyss. Have a nice day. The crowd erupts and fully walks off while the four competitors stare each other down. Business just picked up, folks. Owen and Kane versus Raven and Abyss in a tag team match. This is gonna be brutal. The camera cuts to a shot of Owen and Kane standing their ground as Raven and Abyss back away as we cut a commercial. Backstage, the camera cuts to CM Punk standing in a dimly lit area, arms crossed as the crowd boos to the side of him. You know, when I cost Stone Cold the Renegade World Championship, it wasn't personal, it was just business. See, Austin wants to sit at the top of the mountain, but he refuses to accept that his time has passed. He had his run, he made his money, and he drank more beer than his body could handle. But he just doesn't know when to quit. So I helped him out. I gave him a reality check. And what did he do? He made it personal. Punk scoffs, shaking his head. What happened last week when Austin cost me the Metropolitan Championship? What happened last week when Austin cost me the Metropolitan Championship, that was about championships, that wasn't about business, that was about an old, bitter man who couldn't handle the truth. And the truth is, Stone Cold Steve Austin is a drunk, a relic of a bygone era, clinging to his six-pack like it's some kind of badge of honor, when in reality, it's a crutch, a weakness. And me, I'm the exact opposite. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't poison my body. I'm straight edge, which means I'm better than him, and it eats him alive. The crowd boos loudly as Punk cracks a smile. Austin wants to wait until BreakOut to settle this? Nah, I don't have that kind of patience. I'm not waiting for the weekend. I'm gonna find Austin tonight, and I'm gonna take the fight to him. No refs, no bell, just me and the Texas rattlesnake. So Austin, keep your head on a swivel, because you just crossed the wrong guy. With that, Punk storms off, the camera following him as he walks to the backstage area on the hunt for Stone Cold, as we cut a commercial. The arena erupts with cheers as Vader and Big Show march to the ring, looking determined and ready to reclaim the Renegade Tag Team Championships. The following contest is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the Undisputed Renegade Tag Team Championships. Introducing first, the challengers, at a combined weight of 160 pounds, Big Show and Vader. Big time! The crowd roars as Big Time raises their fist, eyes locked on the stage. Moments later, the crowd erupts and boos as the outsiders step onto the stage, titles draped over their shoulders, cocky smirks plastered across their faces. Scott Hall flicks a toothpick at the camera while Kevin Nash struts down the ramp with his signature swagger. And their opponents, representing the club, at a combined weight of 635 pounds, they are the Undisputed Renegade Tag Team Champions, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, the Outsiders. The Outsiders climb into the ring, holding up their titles, taunting Big Time. The referee takes the belts, holds them high, and calls for the bell. Ding, ding, ding. The match kicks off with Vader bulldozing through Scott Hall, sending him flying across the ring with a powerful shoulder tackle. Hall scrambles to his corner, tagging in Nash, who steps over the ropes, meeting Vader in the center of the ring. The two big men exchange heavy shots, but Vader gets the upper hand, rocking Nash with stiff forearms and a massive corner splash. Big Show tags in, unleashing thunderous chops across Nash's chest, each slap echoing through the arena. Nash stumbles, trying to shake it off, but Big Show hoists him up for a crushing sidewalk slam. Show goes for the pin. 1, 2, but Hall rushes in and breaks the pin up. Vader comes in and hits Hall with a devastating body block, sending Hall rolling out of the ring. The Outsiders struggle to keep up as Big Time dominates, using their sheer size and power to keep control. Nash resorts to cheap tactics, poking Vader's eye before using quick tags to isolate Vader. Nash drills Vader with a big boot, and Hall follows up with a second rope bulldog. Hall goes with pin. 1, 2, but Vader kicks out with authority. The momentum shifts when Big Show gets the hot tag, storming in like an unstoppable force. He levels Hall with a clothesline, then turns his attention to Nash. He grabs Nash by the throat, and he plants him with that choke slam. The crowd is on their feet, sensing a title change, but before Show can make the cover, boom! Shawn Michaels and Triple H storm the ring, attacking Big Time. Ding, ding, ding! The referee immediately throws the match out, calling for the bell. Here are your winners by disqualification, Big Time! However, due to the champion's advantage, still your Renegade Tag Team Champions, the Outsiders. The crowd erupts and boos as Michaels and Triple H stomp away at Big Show and Vader. Nash and Hall recover, joining in on the attack, turning it into a full-blown club beatdown. The 4-on-2 assault leaves Big Time laid out in the ring. This is disgusting. Big Time had the titles won, but the pack tactics of the club have paid off once again. The club stands tall, raising their titles in the air as the crowd rains down boos as we cut a commercial break. Backstage, Missy Hyatt stands with a microphone in hand. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guest at this time, Eddie Guerrero. The crowd in the arena pops as Eddie Guerrero steps in the frame, a confident smirk on his face. Eddie, last week you made a huge impact when you arrived here on Riot, teaming up with Booker T and Big Time to take down the club. Now tonight, you and Booker team up again to take on two of the club's best, Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Before we get to that, let's talk about your arrival here in Renegade Wrestling. After all your success in Project X After Dark, what made you decide to jump ship? Missy, let me tell you something, mamacita. After Dark was my home, and I gave it everything I had. The thing is, when you fought as hard as I have, when you left your blood, sweat, and tears in that ring, you started looking for the next big challenge. And I saw what was happening on Riot. I saw old rivals, new faces, and guys like the club thinking they could run the show. And I said, you know what? Latinos heat, Gotta get in on this. Eddie rubs his hands together. Now you want to talk about Booker T? Man, let me tell you, me and Booker, we went to war over the King of the Night Championship in After Dark. A best-of-7 series. In every single match, we pushed each other to the limit. We hated each other in that ring. But you know what? When two warriors go at it like that, something happens. You start respecting the guy on the other side. You realize that someone who's just as hungry as you, just as tough as you. So when I heard that Booker needed a partner, when I heard he needed someone to step up against the club, there was no way I was going to say no. Because that's my hermano right there. And tonight, tonight's going to be a good one, missy. That brings me to my next question. Tonight, you and Booker T take on Shawn Michaels and Triple H. That's two of the most decorated names in this business. What's your mindset going into this one? Eddie Smirk turns into a sly grin. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, I know all about them. I know how good they are. I know how dangerous they are. But let me tell you something, S.A. I love fighting guys like them. Because when the stakes are high, when the lights are bright, that's when Latino heat burns the hottest. And I know the club, man. I know how they play the game. They got tricks. They got backup. They think they got this all figured out. But let me remind everyone watching, ain't nobody plays the game better than Eddie Guerrero. And tonight, Booker T and I, we're going to show the club why they should never let Latino heat step onto this show. Eddie winks at the camera before walking off, leaving Missy Hyatt smiling as the screen fades to commercial. Backstage, the camera follows CM Punk as he storms through the hallways of the arena, his eyes burning with intensity. He shoves past crew members and production assistants. Where is he, huh? Where's Austin? Punk yanks open a locker room door, finding it empty. Frustrated, he slams it shut and continues down the hall. He turns a corner and spots a group of workers chatting near the catering table. Without hesitation, he marches up to them. Have any of you seen Austin? The workers glance at each other, hesitating to answer. One of them steps up cautiously. Last I saw, he was down by the loading dock, but before he can finish, Punk turns on his heels and storms off. He moves with purpose, the camera trailing him as he pushes through a set of double doors, leading to the backstage garage area. His breath is heavy, his anger boiling over. Austin, come out, you coward! The scene fades to black as we cut commercial break. The camera cuts to the ring as Tony Chimmel stands in the center, microphone in hand. The following contest is scheduled for one fall. The crowd erupts and cheers as Bryan Danielson steps on the stage, fired up and ready for action. He makes his way down the ramp, eyes locked on the ring, focused and determined. Introducing first, from Aberdeen, Washington, weighing at 202 pounds, Bryan Danielson. Danielson rolls in the ring and pumps his fist before pacing in his corner, waiting for his opponent. Bryan Danielson is fired up tonight. After being screwed over by Christian and Luther Reigns last week, he's out for redemption. The cheers quickly turn to boos as Christian smugly steps on the stage. Behind him, the towering Luther Reigns looms. Christian takes his time strolling down the ramp, basking in his own arrogance. And his opponent, accompanied by Luther Reigns from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing at 212 pounds, Christian. Christian smirks as he reaches the ring, taking a moment to taunt the crowd before climbing inside. The referee checks both men before calling for the bell. And here we go. Christian's had a serious attitude change since putting his tag team partner indefinitely on the shelf. And you can bet Danielson is ready to make him pay for it. The bell rings and Danielson explodes out of his corner, charging at Christian with a series of stiff kicks to the legs and midsection. Christian stumbles back, caught off guard by the aggression, as Danielson forces him into the corner with a flurry of knife-edge chops. Christian rakes Danielson's eyes, halting his momentum, and then quickly drops him with a snapmare, following up with a sharp kick to the spine. Smirking, Christian taunts the crowd before delivering a knee drop, right across Danielson's face. He goes for a quick cover. 1, 2, kick out. Christian pulls Danielson up to his feet and whips him in the ropes, looking for a back body drop. But Danielson leaps over him, landing on his feet. Christian turns around and into a vicious roundhouse kick. Danielson covers. 1, 2, kick out by Christian. Danielson goes to pick Christian up, but Christian shoves him backwards, sending him tumbling through the ropes to the floor. Instantly, Christian turns to the referee, clutching his eyes and claiming he was poked. As the referee checks on him, Luther Reigns seizes the opportunity, yanking Danielson up and driving him spine first in the barricade. Come on, this is exactly what we expected. Christian is using Luther Reigns as his personal insurance policy. Reigns hoists Danielson and slams him to the ring apron before rolling him back into the ring. Christian, now suddenly healed, drops down to a cocky cover. 1, 2, kick out. Frustrated, Christian mounts Danielson, raining down punches before dragging him up. He whips Danielson and Hart into the turnbuckle and follows up with a corner clothesline. Danielson crumbles to the mat as Christian arrogantly claps, taunting the crowd. Christian is just toying with Danielson now. This is ridiculous. Christian signals for the Unprettier, but Danielson fights out. He spins Christian around and unloads with rapid-fire kicks to the chest, sending Christian stumbling to the ropes. Danielson charges for his running knee, but Luther Reigns grabs his foot from the outside. Danielson turns to argue with Reigns, but Christian seizes the moment. He hooks Danielson's arms and drives Danielson face first into the mat with the Unprettier. 1, 2, 3, ding ding ding. Here is your winner, Christian. The crowd showers the ring and boos as Christian has his hand raised in victory. Luther Reigns claps from ringside, clearly pleased. Christian kneels beside the fallen Danielson, mockingly patting his cheek before rolling out of the ring to celebrate. This is sickening. Bryan Danielson had this match in hand, but Luther Reigns made sure Christian walked out with the win. As Christian and Reigns make their way up the ramp, Danielson slowly stirs in the ring, frustration evident in his expression. He glares at his opponent as we cut to commercial. Backstage, the camera cuts to the club's private locker room, where Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Sonny are gathered, all looking smug and confident. Nash and Hall, still sweaty from their match, have their Undisputed Renegade Tag Team Championships draped over their shoulders. Well, another night, another victory for the club. Hey yo, what'd I tell you? Big time, more like small time. They come in talking big, but now they're just a couple of guys who got outsided. That's right. That's right. We walked in with these belts, and we're walking out the same damn way. Big Show Vader, I hope you enjoyed that ass kicking, because you ain't getting another shot. You had your chance, and you blew it. Just like everyone else who tried to step to the club. Because let's be real, nobody does it better than us. We don't just run Riot, we own it. And tonight, we're just getting started, boys. Me and Hunter, we got a little main event action to handle. Booker T and Eddie Guerrero, man, what a cute little reunion. Booker, I gotta hand it to you. You keep finding new people to carry your ass. First it was Sting, now it's Eddie. What's next? You gonna drag Stevie Ray out of retirement? Triple H steps forward. And Eddie, the great warrior from After Dark. You had your little best of 7 with Booker, and now you're best buddies? That's adorable. But here's the problem, Eddie. You don't belong here. This ain't After Dark. This is Riot. This is where the best in the world fight to survive. And tonight, we're gonna make damn sure your little welcome party gets cut short. Scott Hall throws them too sweet and the rest of the club follows, smirking as they soak in their own confidence. Tonight, the club does what the club always does, and that's steal the show. See you out there, boys. The camera lingers on their cocky expressions and scene fades to commercial. The arena buzzes with anticipation as lights dim. The following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, weighing at 227 pounds, he is the Renegade World Champion, Owen Hart. Owen Hart steps on the stage, the championship slung over his shoulder, a determined look on his face. He slaps the belt before making his way down to the ring. And his partner, from parts unknown, weighing in at 323 pounds, Kane. The arena is bathed in red as pyro explodes from the stage. Kane marches down the ramp, his eyes locked ahead as he joins Owen in the ring. Last week, Kane made his shocking return to Riot, and now he's teamed with the world champion to battle the sinister duo of Raven and Abyss. This is about more than just a match. This is a fight for dominance. And their opponents. First, from the Bowery, weighing at 244 pounds, Raven. Raven slowly emerges from the curtain. He crouches on the ramp for a moment before standing and making his way towards the ring. And his partner, accompanied by Paul Bearer from the depths of hell, weighing at 350 pounds, Abyss. Look at Abyss. You see the fire burning in his eyes. He wants to finish what he started with Kane. And let's not forget, Raven is only days away from a shot at the Renegade World Championship. Abyss stomps out, his eyes filled with rage. Paul Bearer follows closely, clutching his urn and cackling as Abyss glares at Kane. As soon as the bell rings, all 4 men explode in action. Owen and Raven immediately trade fists in the middle of the ring, while Kane and Abyss brawl to the outside. Kane throws Abyss in the barricade, but Abyss rebounds with a big boot that nearly takes Kane's head off. Inside the ring, Owen takes down Raven with a spinning heel kick, but when he goes for a sharpshooter, Raven rakes his eyes and kicks Owen into the turnbuckle. Raven and Abyss isolate Owen, using quick tags to wear down the champion. Owen fights back with a series of European uppercuts, but Abyss catches him and plants him with a massive chokeslam. Abyss covers. 1, 2, but Kane breaks it up with a thunderous kick to Abyss's head. The match quickly descends back into chaos. Kane and Abyss continue their war at ringside, slamming each other into the barricades and steel steps. Inside the ring, Owen reverses the even flow DDT and counters with a bridging German suplex. 1, 2, Raven kicks out. The battle spills to the outside with all 4 men throwing wild punches. The referee tries to regain control, but the fight is out of hand. Kane grabs Abyss and chokeslams him through the announce table. Owen launches himself from the apron onto Raven, and the two crash into the barricade. The referee reaches a 10 count and calls for the bell. Ding ding ding! This match has been ruled a double countout. Security officials rush out to separate the chaos, but the war is far from over. Abyss sits up, his eyes locked on Kane, while Owen and Raven glare at each other from opposite sides of the ring. This is madness. Nobody won this match, and at this race, nobody's going to win. Nobody's going to survive. Breakout. The show fades commercial as the chaos continues, officials struggling to contain the destruction. Backstage, CM Punk storms through the halls of the arena, shoving aside production crew members and searching every corner. His frustration is boiling over as he finally spots Stone Cold Steve Austin near the loading dock, leaning against a stack of crates. There you are, you son of a bitch! Punk charges Austin, tackling him into the crates, sending them tumbling over. The two men immediately start throwing wild punches, neither man holding anything back. Austin fights back with stiff right hands, rocking Punk, but Punk retaliates with a knee to the gut before ramming Austin into a nearby steel door. Austin grabs Punk and whips him into a nearby production cart, sending cables and equipment flying. Punk clutches his back, but still lunges at Austin, only for Austin to sidestep and slam Punk face first into a concrete pillar. You wanted a fight, boy? Well, you got one. Austin mounts Punk and rains down punches before grabbing a steel chair. He lifts it high, but before he can swing, security finally gets between them, pulling Austin away. Punk stumbles to his feet, blood trickling from his lip. I'll see your ass at Breakout, Punk, and I'm bringing a whole damn case of whoop-ass with me. Punk sees, wiping the blood from his mouth as Austin backs away, flipping him off before disappearing through the exit. Security holds Punk back as you fade commercial break. Come back from break. Maria Kanellis stands ready with a microphone in hand, looking slightly uneasy as she stands next to the unpredictable loose cannon Brian Pillman. Pillman shifts from foot to foot, a wild grin on his face, his eyes darting around like he's barely holding himself together. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Brian Pillman, who is set to face Chris Jericho at Breakout. Brian, after weeks of attacks and mind games between you two, how are you feeling heading into this match? Pillman suddenly bursts out in laughter, causing Maria to flinch. He rubs his hands together. How am I feeling, Maria? How am I feeling? Ha! That is real cute. See, everyone wants to talk about Chris Jericho cost me my shot at the Metropolitan Championship last week. Oh no, poor Brian Pillman, right? Well, let me tell you something, sweetheart. Jericho didn't screw me. He just signed his death warrant. Pillman snatches the microphone from Maria. Chris Jericho, you love to talk about karma, huh? You think it's some mystical force that's gonna guide you to victory? Nah, pal. Karma doesn't pick winners and losers, but I do. And at Breakout, I ain't just beating you, I'm breaking you. I'm gonna make you regret every second you spent screwing with me. You ever danced with the devil, Chris? Because this Sunday, I'm taking you straight to hell, and I'm burning the whole damn place down with us. Pillman suddenly turns back to Maria, leaning in uncomfortably close. He smirks, then gently places the microphone back in her hand, before backing away, laughing to himself as he exits the frame. Maria, visibly unsettled, looks at the camera as the scene fades commercial break. The arena is electric as Tony Chimble stands in the ring. The following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall. The crowd erupts in a mixture of cheers and boos as Shawn Michaels and Triple H make their way to the ring, flanked by Sonny. Michaels struts confidently while Triple H cracks his knuckles. Introducing first, accompanied to the ring by Sonny, representing the club at a combined weight of 487 pounds, the team of Shawn Michaels and Triple H. As they pose in the ring, the lights dim and the crowds erupt. Eddie Guerrero saunters on the stage, and their opponents, first from El Paso, Texas, weighing at 228 pounds, Eddie Guerrero.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Booker T bursts on stage, hyping up the crowd before striding down to join Guerrero. And his tag team partner from Houston, Texas, weighing at 256 pounds, Booker T. The match begins with Booker T and Triple H locking up, exchanging holds before Booker gains the upper hand with a sidekick to the ribs. Quick tags between Booker and Eddie allow them to keep control, using their speed to keep Triple H off balance. Guerrero dazzles with quick arm drags and drop kicks, but as soon as Michael gets a blind tag, the tide shifts. Shawn Michaels blindsides Eddie before isolating Eddie in their team's corner. Michaels and Triple H uses dirty tactics behind the ref's back, while Sonny cheers them on from ringside. Eddie fights back, hitting the three amigos on Triple H, but when he climbs the top rope for the frog splash, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash appear on the stage. Eddie hesitates for just a second, allowing Shawn Michaels to push Eddie off the top ropes. Michaels capitalizes with a devastating sweet chin music. Booker charges in, brawling with both Michaels and Triple H, but the number game is too much. Booker has Michaels on the ropes, giving Triple H the opportunity to recover. Booker T turns around and runs straight into a pedigree. 1, 2, 3, ding ding ding. Here are your winners, Shawn Michaels and Triple H. The bell rings, but the club isn't finished. Hall and Nash join the ring, stopping down Eddie and Booker as Sonny directs traffic. Michaels arrogantly poses over Booker while Triple H grabs Eddie by the hair and taunts him. This is an absolute mugging. The club is sending a message before breakout. Suddenly the lights flicker and the crowd erupts. The Raptors shake as Sting sprints down the ramp with his baseball bat in hand. The club members scatter as Sting slides to the ring, pointing his bat directly at Shawn Michaels. The two men lock eyes in an intense stare down as the arena roars in anticipation. Suddenly, the Titantron flickers to life, displaying a graphic that sends the crowd into a frenzy. Shawn Michaels vs. Sting at Breakout. It's official! Shawn Michaels and Sting one-on-one this Sunday at Breakout. Michaels stares at the graphic, his confident smirk faltering for a moment before regaining his composure. Sting taps the bat against his palm, his message clear. The war is coming. The show goes off the air with Sting standing tall in the ring, his eyes locked on Michaels.
This has been an FWA Network podcast production.